And we'll see where this one pops. It's about to come through, as you can see that on your screens. Going to be deciding the pace of these next couple of minutes of gameplay.
You jump the gun here. It's not quite there yet, but we'll wait for it to shift through. We have had a lot of hardship, so Southeast hardship could be very, very interesting. It's something I imagine that Stalwart would be loving to see here. Aton Esports currently holding out that bridge on the eastern side. You can see that on your screens, though they are flanked by back-to-back. We do get pretty, I would say this is technically central circle here, considering we're pulling away from that water back onto the mainland. So Stalwart do need to now start thinking about how they want to approach this. Now, they could easily rotate down towards the Wildcats, but they've refused to do that in earlier games, so this eastern rotate for them past farm is going to be a little bit more simple for them, though they will run into this wall of teams.
Aton trying to take shots over towards back-to-back and ostensibly succeeding in their endeavor. J7 already going down, getting flushed out. Looks like the representatives from NA are just going to have to take the L on that one, unfortunately. Not ideal. Team Seoul, in the meantime, they started Gatket. They moved down to the ridgeline that's got a lot of trees, a lot of hills, a lot of cover. So they're on the south side of this this central cluster of teams right now. And to be honest, I think that's the right decision for them. I really like that area. I've talked about it a lot whenever I've seen these sorts of circles. I think it's got a lot of opportunity to move away from. And I think it's got a lot of nice cover and nice positional advantage.
That's crazy. ST is so far behind the guys from Atom, but already taking a couple of knocks their way. So they're already, clearing the space in front of them, even if the space in front of them is around about 500 meters. But we do know that after Stalwart had Bootcamp brutally taken away from them on the last Sandhawk, they're looking to lay claim to a little bit more of the landmass at the moment. Still show the rest of the lobby that they are the dominant force here in the PMWI.
Roll up the sleeves, get stuck in. They will do so on the eastern side.
He says as he literally rolls up his sleeves.
Inspiration follows real life, It's
inspiration follows yourself.
I am the inspiration.
Inspire
You're right,
yourself.
Blink. I'm glad you think I'm the inspiration. That's very nice of you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to have to hold on to that forever.
I wouldn't.
He's never going to say something so nice to me again.
USG, I think you mentioned this actually. We were watching our angle, the first match of the day, and you were talking about, they were stuck in Rozhok and they refused to move. And that wasn't a case of they couldn't move. Maybe they were stuck behind Damwon, but Damwon just sent it all the way to the northern side, got a central compound. But this game, USG has attacked onto that and they decided to make a quick move nice and early, waiting for Enigma Galaxy to maybe vacate or just a little bit out of Pachinki. They're taking Church Hills here, so this is a decent place to be starting. RSG, Regans, they're still just trying to find a little place to call home. I believe they're in the mix of it, just above Box Gaming, right on the south coast. You can see them there, just holding on to the roadside. They've got a 2-2 split at the moment, so really striking out here. I think that confidence from a couple of the games previously has bled into their gameplay massively.
You would hope. You would certainly hope. Regan's right now, as you say, in the mix. They got Box to the south. They got Stalwart to the eastern side. On the north end of them, I think they've got
hello.
a couple of those other teams as well to be worried about. Enigma Galaxy as well, as the map is going to close yet again in just a matter of moments. So far, not a big pop-off circle, but I imagine the next one is likely to be a little bit more dramatic.
Absolutely, and just looking at Damwon, they've already lost one player here, so the send-in, I respect that they're playing a lot less afraid here. They have lost one player, but it's not the end of the world. Specifically when you see this circle here, this is really, really important. You get the southwest shift, and just look at the amount of teams on that northeastern edge. Goodness me, yes, Damwon's lost one player, but the amount of players that are going to be lost just in this hailstorm on the northeastern side is going to be horrific, to say the least.
It's good for teams like Vampires, like Team Seoul, who are further down on that southwest side already in that ridgeline that I talked about earlier. They can hold on to that and try and use that as some sanctuary. Unfortunately, the eastern side is going to get pushed on.
Regans, they've had to immediately leave that 2-2 split, come together now and try and figure out what they can do. They're looking towards the roads. They have some vehicles. This tree line is plagued very, very often, has really good sight lines over towards the road. Wildcats, not sure how long they're going to spend in this position, but I think they're just running straight past down towards Vampire Esports. Team Soul, they've lost 2 already, so not really able to translate that early rotation from Gatka in the beginning. But down 1, oh, they had 1 down, but they were able to bring him back up again. So down 1 currently at a 4-man. This is a surprise to me, but fantastic stuff either way.
Soul have let it slip down to 2 as well, so they have a pretty decent spot for down 1 here. Falcons losing a player on the crossing out in the open. Jumper able to see off Damar. And now the Falcons have to figure out what they're going to do based on that information. They know where another team is, and they're playing in these fields. They've just made it to a shack, and they're just going to try and hold up for the time being. With Vampire on your oversight, though, it's not going to be the most comfy of positions.
Absolutely, you do need to be very, very careful. Now Vampire, in one of these places, like the little ditches, it's quite easy to get caught out here. Luckily, there's not too many teams around them specifically because, you know, there is a lot of open ground in this area. With so many teams watching, I think Vampire Esports can feel quite safe in their positioning for the time being. Team Falcons, though, they're being harried. A couple of teams taking shots their way, but so many teams able to make their way in. Stalwart making a long wrap over towards the northern side at the moment, but there is such a big line of field here on the eastern side that so many just want to head down towards the west. Now, the next circle could be extremely cruel, and currently teams are just trying to find a place in the circle that they can hunker down in.
They're trying to find that golden position, get a little glimmer of treasure. And if you want to get a glimmer of treasure as well, you're in luck, because from the 4th to the 13th of this month, there is a 50% off PMWI pack sale. Get a set straight away, and 5 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests as well.
And from the 14th of August through to the 15th of September, just in case you missed that previous sale, were extremely nice. There's still 16% off PMWI packs, and you get 6 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
Next circle comes on in down towards the bridge, which leaves Vampires in the circle again on this ridgeline that we've talked about a couple of times now. The western edge, though, looking to be pushed in potentially by TJB, by Falcons, and I think that's... who else is that on the western end? That was Vivo Keyed as well.
Yeah, so Vivo Key currently in this area, TJB just barreling their way into the circle at the moment. Yet to take too many casualties, but swinging straight past Vampire Esports directly towards the Wildcats here. But Ravenclaw in the tower takes some shots down. Tink Skirt, he's out of the vehicle. The car's going skirt in its way as well.
GK first takes a tumble outside the Wildcats compound. It looks like Fluketh is looking for the flush, pick up the point, take it away. Xiao trying to get away in the buggy. Lin as well, running for Ferry Pier, for that area to try and get a little bit of cover, to try and stay alive. Nades from outside the window. And the crowd cheers. Falcons hold now for the moment in the shack.
Falcons really have captured the hearts of the people here in Riyadh at the moment. It's so great to see. I mean, they are just in a shack at the moment, guys. This is a mean replay to show out at that.
Right,
we had
timing.
Cheers for them, and now we get to see them explode. But again, they're still in the circle at the moment. Stalwart, though, living. They're on the northern edge. They still have to cross the field, and that is the difficulty when it comes to this circle. Down 1, on the other hand, still holding strong here. You know, you're going to get bruised and battered on the way in if you try and change this gameplay very quickly. They wanted to come into today with a little bit more oomph.
Speaking of them, there's an auto shotty going around the side. A Soul with the remaining 2 players clash with Nigma Galaxy. 2 players alive and up and standing. Only the one for Soul right now on the top floor. It's Akshat to hold off against Freak as he pushes through. Stays alive, but low HP. Info given. That's an ankle tapped as well as Lord's timer does tick down lower. Push from Ralph. The first aid not quite there. And Akshat falls. Soul eliminated.
What is that? Is that a Molotov from his own teammate? Ralph actually? No, he won't bleed out from that. He'll stay just alive long enough. Get a quick replay here. It's 52 Esports rocking up on Falcons.
Oh.
One goes down on the approach and a nade over the top. Okay.
Beautiful. What a way to stop a crash. I mean, take them down before you get there. Love to see it. Box with 3 players now. We're on board on the eastern side of the circle, next to Virtual Gaming Squad. As VGS with 4 players alive against the 3 of Box to hold this out.
Virtual Gaming Squad looking to make their way into this compound. Box, though, holding the warehouse. There are smokes available to a couple of these teams. You can see Regan's off in the distance with DD there. I think the main advantage that Vampire Esports have gotten from this particular circle, though the ditch maybe is just a little bit misleading, is they've got so much information just gathered because they haven't had to move whatsoever, whereas it's been a gauntlet for everyone else.
The Americas clash, Vivo keyed and back-to-back on this hillside, very, very close to one another, taking shots either which way. But it's actually the Donuts who come through, I believe. No, Stalwart, sorry, taking shots over towards Cielo. Will be able to take down one of those Vivo keyed players and give back-to-back a little bit of time to get J-Way back up to his feet.
Oh my goodness me. Next circle pops and it's right on top of Regan's. And look at that, a gift from the skies. Loot box directly on their position. Regan's really do want to translate this. And with the current scoring they've done today, they might even be able to shoot up into a third, second, or even a first if they have a very, very good game here on our angle. Stalwart, on the other hand, they're taking heavy casualties on this western edge. It's not been easy for them. They've headed up the eastern bridge, over the top side. Now they're trying to wrap in on the west. And again, the circle moves away from them.
All this group of teams on the west going to have to push in. It looks like Never Alone gets spotted. The Falcons, they're going to have to move, and I don't think Yusuf's going to have the best time. Moving forwards for these next couple of minutes, Donuts USG, 4 players alive. Damwon Kia, 4 players alive as well. All of these teams on the northwest side have cover. They are in this next circle.
Yeah, Damwon's been holding a very, very good compound for a very long time, especially with their instant push into here. Back-to-back, though, send Vivo keyed back into the blue here and back to the lobby.
Getting their teammate back up pays dividends, as they are able to eliminate the sidelines. But Vampire Esports are on the bead. This is Stone on the back of their progression into the circle. He's a rear guard right now, trying to harry B2B. Not going to be able to land too many shots, but forcing them a little bit further north, as they're going to crash straight on into Donuts USG and actually be able to get one of the rundowns. Omikun not going to have the best of times with that one, unfortunately. Stalwart get eliminated, and back-to-back straight into the Damwon Kia compound. There's 2 teams here. If they fight through Damwon Kia, they're going to have to deal with a little bit more. Judy holds the gap, holds the line for Damwon Kia, as Polo has to think about healing up here. In pushes Forest.
Ooh.
The vehicle goes up in flames, and with it, back-to-back's forward guard.
Shrapnel directly to back-to-back here, and they are not going much further. Damwon Gaming, though, now they have to think about keeping everyone off this position. They've done extremely well. We've seen them lighting up the elimination feed at the moment, taking shots all over the place. But even so, there is now 2 teams in their vicinity. 4 rivals, the Indonesian team, as well as Iraq Enigma Galaxy, who have managed to coast their way into that southern edge.
A quiet game so far for Vampire Esports. They've been holding their stronghold on this ridgeline, and now they're going to start to slowly gain steam.
Damn.
There we go, finally got it out. As Damwon Kia finally have it out for the Donuts USG squad. Missile behind the vehicle. That place has not been safe historically, and it's not going to be safe anymore. 4 rivals enter the fray as well, as Forrest drops the smoke out to try and get a little bit of respite, but Jumper gets knocked. And everybody else from 4 rivals gonna be a little bit slower now, but there's nades starting to pop into the warehouse. Looks to put the damage in and move closer to this next circle.
Voki tries to drop a grenade over the top. Previously, the team's ambassador turned player, and he's been doing really, really well for the team, but he does go down in the middle of it. Regan's, though, taking the fight to Vampire right on that southwest coast. So, you know, even southwest edge, even though they are in the center of the circle right now, they are being very proactive. These shots are unbelievable with the AOG over towards Stoned.
Trying to slow them down, and if you could slow the Vampires, that is absolutely phenomenal on that western edge. Draw the attention that way as well as they try and make their push. They're down to 2 with Ravenclaw on the floor. Schweppes tries to make it to the tree, but Ravenclaw is going to get picked up here.
Regan's still going strong for them. And through from the 4th of August through to the 13th, all users in a specific region of the top 3 teams will have the chance to win a prize. You get maximum of 1 award per user, though, so make sure you make it count, just like Wildcats are here, trying to make their way into the circle.
Ooh.
Defoe goes down to Rocky, and it's a rocky start for Wildcats, and they are clambering.
1-2 punch from Rocky to slow everything down, stay in the round, but for now...
Lightning!
Box Gaming eliminated in the meantime. Lightning just striking seemingly more than once, as teams just start falling like flies. There was absolute chaos here on the south side.
You cannot say that this guy has not done so much for the team, but I will say, even though Regans only have 7 eliminations so far, it really does not matter. Honestly, they have put in so much work, so many little bits of damage around the map that he has crushed people coming into this circle. They have been cut up on the way in, and Regans, they're the barbed wire.
It's going to be really difficult to get anything done against this squad now as the Wildcats try and make their last-ditch attempt. Just Lux out in the shack, potentially going to try and heal out and get a little bit further into this game. Wait for a couple more teams to be eliminated, as Damwon Kia at risk of being one of those teams. It is just Sung now. After their position on that northwestern side, they have really suffered in these fights. They've been the team to fend off everyone on that western edge, and they are paying the price. The consequences are coming home to roost. Enigma Galaxy putting the pressure on Sung.
There is still an opportunity here for him. He jumps through the window, gets one. Ralph's very low HP. The shots from the side, but it's 4 rivals to take him down. Goodness me, Sung could have had a real run with that one. Still 8 eliminations and a 6th place. This is beautiful stuff for Damwon Kia, but it's Regan still with 4 players remaining. And I'll say it again, this team has just not waited quietly in the center of this circle. They've been all over the place. Flower tries to take some shots down, will get knocked in the process, and there's a vehicle coming up towards him.
It's an even trade there, and they will try and keep him alive as well. Having 4 players in this final circle is going to be incredibly useful. 4 rivals down to 3, Enigma Galaxy down to 2.
Enigma Galaxy just trying to keep themselves alive here, but it's the Indo team of 4 rivals who have really suffered so low on HP at the moment. Enigma Galaxy going to try and make their push up. This is a different Enigma Galaxy to what we saw yesterday. Fantastic stuff from them, and they're looking to take down the final players, but it is Jumper. This guy is a clutch maestro, but Ralph just spots the legs and will take out the calves.
2 versus 4 now. 2 teams remain. It is once again Regans from China starting to step up, starting to gain a little bit of traction. And we are going to be seeing them take the fight to Enigma Galaxy as Ralph goes down. Just Lord, 1 versus 4. And you've got to wonder what can be done against Regans. 11 eliminations. Well, they do lose a player. Lightning goes down. They have been found just a little bit lacking there. Lord, though, low HP. Takes the fight, nade in hand. Flower has backup from his team. Finds another, and there's the nade. It looked maybe like something could happen, but the Regans had it on lock.
I did not expect that from Lord there. The fact that he was able to make that happen at the last moment, he was so aggressive as well. Very different type of Enigma Galaxy than what we've seen before. Very well done.
Excellently closed out, excellently defended on their position. That compound was so brutal for all of the teams who wanted to step in there.
Goodness me, Regans though, they pull it through. Once again, another chicken dinner on the cards for them. Regans, they're not letting up. And I think this is the kind of game that could even send them up towards that first position. We'll have to find out, you know, after the break. But before we get there, quick little breakdown. Honestly, really well done to a lot of those teams. I have to admit, if you were any of those teams on the northeast edge, you know, it was just an absolute battle to get through there. A real assault course to get even into the circle at all. And even when you were in, you had to contend with all the other teams in the field.
Yeah, no, it was really very difficult. It's what we call a bad time.
Yes, it's a very bad time.
Well, we're going to have a great time over on the desk, which we're going to hop over to after the break.
Halo, gue fans Bigetron Red Alliance. Bisa dibilang, gue rindu banget melihat mereka juara. Gue udah ngefans sama Bigetron dari awal banget mereka muncul. Melihat determinasi mereka di kompetisi, jadi salah satu faktor kenapa gue bisa suka banget sama gameplay mereka. Selain prestasi yang mereka raih di kancah dunia, mereka juga selalu bisa bikin harum nama Indonesia. Dan ini saatnya mereka membuktikan kalau DNA juara mereka masih ada. Dengan amunisi baru, gue berharap ini adalah awal kebangkitan Bigetron Red Alliance. Meskipun Zuxi tidak bisa merasakan medali emas yang diraih Luxi, di PMWI nanti, gue berharap mereka bisa angkat piala bersama lagi.
Gue yakin kali ini kita pasti bisa.
Kalau ngomongin soal mob, bisa dibilang ini soal loyalitas. Karena gue dong support mob dari awal mereka ada. Baliknya Zai dan Frenzy, serta pemain baru lainnya, bakal bikin mob jadi tim yang akan diperhitungkan nantinya. Meskipun soal prestasi, mereka tidak sementereng tim lainnya. Tapi gue yakin, mereka bakal ada di titik sana nantinya. Revolusi Unlocking Mob adalah salah satu pergerakan yang sangat menarik perhatian gue.
Sabar, pelan-pelan aja, pelan-pelan, jangan ngegas.
Di PMWI nanti, bakal jadi panggung pertama dan pembuktian mob yang baru.
Tim Indonesia yang akan mendapatkan
Sudah saatnya mob bangkit dan jadi tim yang diperhitungkan di kancah dunia.
Dua tim Indonesia sudah mendapatkan winner chicken dinner. Sabar, pelan-pelan aja, pelan-pelan, jangan ngegas. Smoke setup.
Kali ini, di depan ribuan penonton, gue buktiin gue bisa juara dan mengharumkan nama bangsa Indonesia.
Progress is a race that has no end. After every finish line, another challenge awaits. How can we continue to push innovation in a sport at the forefront of technology? This is how. Discover how Aramco and the Aston Martin Formula One team aim to meet Formula One's sustainable fuel targets. Aramco, powered by How.
Hello everyone, welcome back to PMWI 2022. I want to remind you guys once again, you can play to win with the Sony Xperia 1.4, made in collaboration with professional esports players, so you guys can have your best performance when it comes to playing. Here's some PUBG Mobile, which fun enough is actually an official smartphone partner as well of PUBG Mobile. I'm Jesse Kaplan, your host. We're going to bring our analysts once again yet in as we have our fourth match done of the day, gentlemen. We're going to be heading into match 5 in a little bit of time. We finally have some time to talk, to relax, to kind of recap what's happened throughout the day, but we're going to start things off by taking a look at our STC match rankings so you get an idea of how many points the teams did score here in this last match.
Yes, already.
What's wrong, Max? What's wrong, Max? Why are you laughing?
Okay, no, it's fine. You can see on camera as whatever. Yeah, RSG would actually get himself their second chicken dinner here. The first team to actually get himself 2 chicken dinners today.
It's huge.
It's huge for them actually because, like, as you already mentioned a few times, right, they are having to make some really big changes from the PL into this tournament. And really taking that Longwood control with that, what was it, a 1-2-1 split. They had so much information coming their way, really gatekeeping all the teams from the south. Like, this is RSG in their key environment and really were able to perform.
I mean, RSG are becoming unhinged, almost even unbuttoned here. I mean, 27 points, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, they're going to burst out of control here, I think, when it comes to today. We have the 2 chicken dinners coming their way. I mean, they already burst from yesterday into today, effectively. If you think about how we saw them playing things yesterday, they really did look a little bit lackluster, a little bit out, almost to a certain degree out of their depth. But it really feels like they walked away from yesterday with things that they wanted to kind of adjust, slightly improve, tweak the knobs just a little bit. And then from that point onwards, you know, the VOD review must have come in here for them. 27 points, another big heavy hitter on the board. RSG's coming for some of those top spots.
I feel like I called them out at the start of the day as well, if I'm not mistaken, saying they're just really not living up to expectations when it comes to Chinese teams. They're like, you know what, Jason Kaplan, Jay Kaplan over on Instagram, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I think you called out a lot of the teams actually that did struggle yesterday, right? You said you can't have 2 bad days, and actually that's why we're seeing teams like Wildcats also that has once again got like a double-digit game once more. Like the Wildcats have really been able to find like some really good presence, and their aggressive nature in particular. I would love to see like their player stats later on and how they've been performing individually, because the entire team makes it really fun the game. And I think that here they found like their groove, and if they can stay on this stance, there's a chance they could potentially get into the top 5.
Yeah, and you know what? Games do become easier when you have a sponsor like MasterCard here backing the GA and PMWI 2022. So big shout out to them to make sure this event is happening for all of you to enjoy at home. But we're enjoying it the most because we're here at the event. We're with the lads. We're sitting here having a great time getting to watch the matches. And the players, well, at least some of them are having a great time here. If you're doing well, you're probably having a fantastic time. But let's actually take a look at our Sony highlights here and maybe start to break down maybe some of the fights or talk about some of our highlights as well in this last match, because Reagan's is on a tear today. Question is, can a team stop him?
True. Rough circle to work with. Barriers that you have to deal with. Longwoods, you've already mentioned it. Regan's actually had themselves that 1-2-1 split across it. Likewise, aside from that, once that circle shift, you saw a lot of teams migrate down to the southeast beyond Ferry Pier to try and gain themselves some kind of hold on a position to play from, because gas station's not too bad to play from. It's a nice path in towards those long woods, but then even beyond that, you've got the road down there, then you've got the beach. You can't really be playing those areas. So even though you get that circle shift come along, it's actually sealing off a lot of area people can play.
Yeah, and you can even see the fight that RSG took versus Virtual Gaming Squad, right? They were just making sure we clear all the teams from the southern edge away from Longwood. Once you've done that, your only focus is that compound ahead of you, and you can just go for the push. I think Flower C got a little bit scared at the end. They just pushed on one of the players with a molly in hand. That was a weird interaction, but they still came on top at the end.
I feel like I heard the little Metal Gear Solid bling as he comes around the corner with no weapon in hand. What am I going to do? He's right there. So he did a little shimmy backwards. Tough.
I don't know what you two are doing today. I don't know. Like, did you guys have a lot of coffee? Because you got both of you dancing on here. I'm
excited. He's excited. Come on, Jason.
I'm excited about
the next sponsor.
I am excited about the next sponsor. Thank you so much for queuing me on this
No problem.
one. A big shout out to Saudi Bank as well. Another. Oh, you know what? We could make that happen. Max, man. We're going to have you do all the sponsor callouts from now on. Thank you so much for volunteering for that one. Thank you again, obviously, to Saudi Bank for making this one happen. You guys at home, we still have another event happening for you guys where you can change your profile picture, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, to your favorite team. And make sure you guys go post on the official channels here for PUBG Mobile Esports, and you have a chance to win some sweet prizes, maybe even a phone. I'm not going to say how many are being given out, but hopefully I can get one. Maybe one of these. Actually, there are 4 of them. There's 3 of us. Rock, paper, scissors to get the 4th. Not now. Not now. Because what we want to talk about. This segment is all about us. We want to talk about quite a few different things. The first one we're going to be talking about is Reagan's gaming yesterday versus today and their change up in performance. Let's get that on your guys' screen so you get an idea of how much better they've been able to improve. So this is obviously the left-hand side from day 1 from 6 matches. They played only 4, and they're at 5,000 matches, and they're almost up there on eliminations.
I think the important thing to take away from this is less so in terms of the damage. Obviously, you know, as those 2 games will develop from here point and out, they could quite easily, as I say, surpass that based on the fact 6 versus 4. But the fact that the healing is quite considerably lower overall at this point in time, it feels like they're taking fights, they're taking them fast, efficiently, and effectively. You saw that on Sandhawk when they were able to absolutely decimate Stalwart early. By the way, still number 1. And overall, every time we're seeing RSG rolling into these fights, they're executing them very quick.
Yeah, I have the impression that when you look at day one for RSG, you could see it as almost like a scrim technically, because now they had some VOD content to look back onto. They also had time to try it versus the teams and have a good idea of how the lobby was going to play out. So that first day was great for them to get the information. Now they're using that information and applying it to get those 2 wins today, and I think they're going to keep speeding up the process.
Yeah.
We still have a couple of other teams we wanted to touch on. Damwon Kia. Again, we saw them in third place at saw them win PMGC East League. We were expecting a lot out of them, and we were unfortunately left with a lot to be desired after day one. But look at this. They've already surpassed themselves in eliminations and damage in these 4 matches.
Did they heal on Sandhawk yesterday and not heal this time? That's what those numbers look like.
But I have the impression for Damwon in particular, even though they are trying to speed up their rotations, they just can't get access to their positions. Like they're trying to get there, but they just lose players mid-rotation. That's what 18 team lobby does, right? You just can't get to a position you really have to rotate for to have your 4-man crew.
They've been moving faster today, though, right, as a whole. Like, we've watched them move faster today. That has kind of translated into a little bit of extra damage, even across the 4 games compared to the 6. That's translated into a few more eliminations as well. But I'm sure you agree with this, we believe Damwon here to be a slow and steady team across a long-form tournament, not necessarily one of these sprints where you really have to be on the point very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. I think that we really saw during the League East of PMGC last year, right, that they struggled initially, but then every week they would just do better and better. The average points would keep increasing. Then you had, of course, the final week. They would win it and go right into the finals. So I think that this is maybe not where they excel, but we could be surprised. There's still some room for improvements for them, and we still have pretty much a little bit less than half of the tournament going on here.
All right, well, we do have our 5th match almost ready to go. You can see Miramar being loaded up on the players' phones. We have 50 seconds until we get underway with this one, so it's going to be exciting to see if some teams will continue to perform well here, like Reagans, who've been able to get themselves 2 wins on the day. Just imagine a world that exists. If they get themselves a 3rd, I think James and Max might have to rethink about Stalwart being the top dog here in the lobby. But speaking of top dogs, we got to bring in our commentators with John Allen and Blink.
You hear that? We're top dogs. Thank you very much, Jason. I'm just being complimented every single game. I'm enjoying this. I'm having a good time. Blanky, you having a good time?
I'm having a good time. I'm here. I'm having a good time. RSG, 106 points. They're having a beautiful time currently today. 106 points, just behind Team Falcons of 108, but Stalwart still looking strong at the top, 125 points. Only 23 points, only 3 points more than their previous game. 23 points. That would have been a good game on our angle. Unfortunately, they just were not able to weather the storm. They did come from a very difficult location though, but here on Miramar, there's a lot more space to be working with, and the playing path, you can't see it yet, but I'll tell you right now, it's relatively kind.
It's slap bang down the middle, right, all the way from south middle. There's no real landmarks, or no settlements certainly over there. I guess the east end of Los Chicos Islands, all the way up to La Cobreria, just a little bit further east of it. Slap bang down the middle of the Miramar map, as we will split it in 2. The plane into the sky once more. It's Miramar, Game 5.
You know, today, Lightning has achieved 17 eliminations, and also from last game going from 1,800 to 2,800 damage total. Almost 2,900, so that was almost a 1,100 damage game, last one for Lightning himself. So Regans, you know, I don't want to say they're relying on him, because I do think the rest of the team was doing some really, really good stuff, but you can see Lightning's now only 3 elims behind Action with 27. So Stalwart, I think this is a game where, you know, they would love to really get moving, because this is a game where Regans could technically make the catch-up.
Double pump the clutch, shift that gear, get on up in their racing form. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
No more slow and steady, as James said. It's the sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is the point where, you know, you're past halfway. Really, you can start to see that finish line off in the distance. You know, it's coming into view. You're looking behind you, trying to see if anyone's tailgating you, or if anyone's on the side. And you've got to make that fast sprint. But at this point in time, it's the question of which teams still have that breath to keep going. Who still has that absolute gumption to make it to the end?
That's right. I mean, if anyone knows about getting into gear, it's going to be Carlaris, isn't it? You know?
Oh, yeah.
I heard, you know, he was the 200cc Bradford go-kart champion.
He was, actually. You know, that was I come from the same area as him, and that is a famed notion. You know, they actually have it up in the local go-karting arena. He's right at the top. There's a little sticker with his name on it, and no one has yet to beat his record.
And whenever he goes back home to Bradford, back to his hometown, he can't move for being stopped. Everyone's like, 1998.
Yeah.
Champion.
People are absolutely going wild about them. As the same with Falcons, Stalwart, as well as Regans today. All these teams absolutely going hog wild. They are making it happen, and I think that this is what needs to happen for them. I would say for Stalwart Esports, it is a case where their consistency has been really their highlight points, and, you know, for other teams like Regans who have really come in today looking extremely strong, you know, the big question for them is, can they continue that into tomorrow, or even for the last two matches of today? Because if we know anything about Stalwart, is that they are just steady pumping those points into the mainstream. So we'll see what they can get done. On our screen, though, we do have the PMWI Watch Together. You need to complete some daily missions to earn those points in the first place. But once you have enough of those points accumulated, tap on the rewards icon to claim the corresponding reward.
You could participate in the event solo or team up with other players. Both are totally fine, but a team up could get the reward a little bit easier.
That's absolutely right. And for the live stream going on, you know, we do have an offline event here, so we've got everyone here at the event. But if you're at home watching us, if we reach 100 million live watching, then everyone can get items in the 2022 PMWI Lucky Crate, and that is a maximum of 1 award per user, and I'm sure we can make that happen.
Yeah, so make sure you visit the in-game 2022 PMWI Watch Together area. And the event every day will be on from the 11th. Of course, it's now 2 days into the event. We're on our second day. You can check out all the information there in-game.
We can still make it. Box in Picado. Box currently in Picado at the moment.
I'm going to make it.
He's going to make it. TJB currently just trying to loot around the outskirts of Picado with Vivo keyed up towards Power Grid. Just looking down, Stalwart just underneath Hacienda del Patron. You know, they do like to hit up Power Grid from time to time, but San Martin also a viable position for that team. But this is relatively central for them. They also have a lot of this ridge line to play around with, get a lot of information early. We've seen them send players up onto the top of mountains, in fact, to scout downwards, and they've had a lot of success with that. There are teams like a Virtual Gaming Squad currently down in Puerto Paraíso, just playing, splashing on the beach side, as well as 52 Esports coming up from Prison. These two teams are a little bit out of the way, but I'm sure they'll be able to make their way in.
TJB, Shao takes a little bit of damage. Box jousting out towards them. But the tilt will have to be reset back towards one another. They aren't going to find the knocks just yet. And of course, it's early doors, so still picking up with those weapons, still picking up those meds to make sure they're at full force. Although that was a level 3 helmet, I think a med kit as well being popped. That's a lot of loot.
Yeah, I think the medkit's being popped here just because, you know, they don't, I think with players like TJB being so close quarters with them right now, there's no reason not to pop the medkit. They're getting prepared for the ensuing fight. TJB are right on their borders and they don't have to move. So I think Box do absolutely need to prepare for other teams coming this way down towards Picado already. Vivo Keyed are to the north of them, coming into those like foothills just above Picado. So Box very much boxed in at the moment, with Regans also moving down towards their southeastern side. So, you know, Picado could be a real playground at the moment, and one where you scuff your shins and cry.
Is that what happens when you scuff your shins?
Yes, every time.
Weeping.
It's very painful.
Do you know what?
I thought you were going to call me weak instead of weeping.
That's what you said. You cried.
Yeah, I thought the your weeping was not going to be weeping.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
it
was going to be weak.
Yeah, you have weak shins. Son.
Yeah. The direction we were going was quite scary for me. I was
it's
like,
okay.
I don't want to be called weak live on air. That would be very sad.
You're not weak. You're strong for being in touch with your emotions about your shins.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Sometimes you fall, but the important thing, Bruce, is that you get back up.
What is that? I don't know what that's from.
Really?
Why did you say Bruce? Who's Bruce?
Oh my God, it's okay. Anyway,
Bruce
everyone
Forsyth.
No, everyone at home that did
Has he
understand that
fallen over?
reference, I respect you all, and I hope that you have a good time wearing those capes. But we do have some superheroes of our own in these lobbies. With Regan's Gaming, Lightning absolutely taking things out of control at the moment, doing fantastic stuff. Xiao still just on that western side, but now Tongjibao will have to start dealing with the likes of Vivo Keed as well as back-to-back. Box have been able to, just keep quiet, keep it calm inside that compound, and now Regan's starting to move away towards more Los Leones.
Back-to-back. They're staying alive for the moment. They haven't had the best of tournaments so far, and we are beyond halfway, as we've touched on now. In 18th place, not where you want to be finishing. The point difference, though, towards the bottom of the tables, surmountable. 3 points up towards Aton Esports. Another extra 1 point above that is Team Seoul. So there are places that they can ladder up. It's, as well, a race for top 12 to try and get invited to that after party, because there's a lot of money on the line there.
Top 6, yeah. Top 6 going through. We already have 6.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We have 6 teams already directly qualified into that after party. But 6 teams will be chosen here. So currently our 6 teams, if we ended the tournament right now, Lynn, get away. This is ambitious shots from Kadrian. But if we ended the tournament right now, it would be Nigma Galaxy, Wildcats, Vampire Esports, Regan's, Team Falcons, as well as Star Wars Esports making it their way through to the after party. But on top of that, there really is a lot of money on the line in the PMWI, other than just getting through to the after party to maybe potentially earn some of that $1 million prize pool on that side. It's 2 million here in the PMWI, so a lot to play for here, John.
Absolutely. I mean, to be fair, though, the glory of being PMWI champion, I think, has to be on everyone's minds. Next circle just about to pop. We've had the first one centering around Power Grid and Picardo. We'll see where the next one falls as well. You can see the scoreboard on that left-hand side of your screens right now. 125 for Stalwart Esports, but there's that group of 3 teams just below them. Falcons, Regan's Gaming, and Vampire Esports, all very, very close at the moment. The momentum is there for Regan's, and Team Falcons have been pulling that out consistency. I'm worried for Vampire Esports in terms of upkeep.
Yeah, this is some real chasers, but I will say that you're 100% right. Vampire Esports, they have been starting to slow here just a little bit. Bended knee, just tying the shoelaces once again and getting back up again and keep on running. That's what Vampire Esports need to do. And I think there was a really great question from Max at the beginning of the day on Des for Sir Tanny, which I thought that he answered very adeptly, to be honest with you, talking about, are they going to change anything on Sandhawk? And Vampire Esports, they just really didn't, and were locked in combat with the guys from TJB. Both teams suffered because of it, but it was Tongjibao that actually made it to the circle and got themselves a few points. Vampire Esports, on the other hand, they really stagnated there on that map.
I mean, that is true, but because of the way that the healing works in Sandhawk, it was actually Vampire who lasted longer than TJB in the Sandhawk, although the TJB got a lot more elimination points for their movements.
Yeah, 100%. So I do think that potentially there could be some changes made for Vampire Esports coming into tomorrow and try and get a bit of that fire back from day one, in which case their match one was just an unheard of opening here in an inter-regional tournament. So really, really well done to them. But I want to see some of the same, because Stone from the team absolutely killing it in terms of statistics at the moment, but not quite there yet. Back-to-back, taking some warning shots at the moment. Circle heads up towards the northern side, John.
Up to the north. Not too many teams left out in the cold blue. We've got Virtual Gaming Squad on the south side, near Chumasera, just out to the east of it at the moment. No one really nearby. You've got Aton Esports out to the west and down one Kia in Monte Nuevo. And then 52 coming up that western road. But at the moment, Nigma Galaxy clashing with back-to-back Freak. Still alive somehow. J7 goes down out in no man's land there between the two teams. The ridgeline can be suppressed, and there's a timer on J7 getting back up. Modi wants the challenge, but neither player really landing too much there. Freak repositions to back up the teammate.
Mini 14 off in the distance. Modi knows he needs to be careful lest his head gets taken off there. But with the level 3 vest and helmet, he's fairly healthy right now. Freak, though, coming through with the squeaky clean peaks there on his side. Freaky peaks, in fact. Lord trying to send over a nade towards the players from back-to-back. J7, like you said, on bended knee, but it is a little bit of no man land to cross here. Back-to-back certainly have the advantage in terms of that.
J-Way able to get some vengeance onto Freak. Gets the flush as well. Picking that up handedly. Lord wants to try and answer their throwables going on over those projectiles, trying to burn J-Way out of position, allow him to get into those crosshairs from the teammate. Back-to-back holding their own in this fight, just that little bit. 3 versus 3 right now. And it's even Stevens on the engagement.
Enigma Galaxy. A quick stock of where this team is, just the north side of Power Grid. Both teams very firmly in the circle. Ralph very far behind the rest of the team, looking over towards Damwon Kia actually, who are just the north of Ralph himself. They're looking to make their way in. Next circle shifts are extremely central with a road bisecting this one. Stalwart currently in San Martin. They're going to be chilling here, but it's TJB who've rocked up on Box, who have had to move from Picardo.
Break is taken down as TJB try and swell past their defenses. Around the headland, Tingsker able to stay alive, pops a bandage at 2. Bensu trying to hold that door frame, but the teammates are falling, and Box are down to 2 to hold. TJB with only 2 on this forefront, but backup is arriving on the sidelines. They are looking for that off angle. Can it be dismounted? There's a crucial knock from the Molotov from Bensu. Finds Tingsker, but that's the side swipe that they were looking for. Hang on a minute. No, it's coming from Virtual Gaming Squad. The spray down is good, and TJB have been handed a lifeline to get Tingsker back to his feet.
Virtual Gaming Squad have just been hovering around on this ridge side on Picardo. They didn't quite go down all the way into Picardo, just stuck around on these foothills, and it worked out very well. GK first though, beautiful grenade over the top, takes down Trisme and Box Gaming. They are done. TJB though, now setting their sights over towards Virtual Gaming Squad, who are rocking up to finish the job that Box started.
Shao Hai is behind the hay bale there. On the broadside of that warehouse. It's such a dangerous position to be in against a team that has that ridgeline. You can see what a shooting gallery it is. It's so hard to move. You need those smokes. And under cover of the SLR, a player from Virtual Gaming Squad has managed to move up. That's one shot on the breach now. As the smokes start to bloom. That's what they need to put down to be able to have a little bit of mobility, maybe even evacuate out the back. But Virtual Gaming Squad have players there as well. It's difficult.
TJB crunched here, no vehicles, but Virtual Gaming Squad still holds some buggies, so their rotations have been very, very speedy. You see Gaddafi already coming up to the side of the wall. Nade goes through. It's Xiao taking a fair bunch of damage, just has to hit another first aid kit, and they're already going into the blue here. iShot pulls the trigger.
And they will have backup as well. A 1-2 swing. Very, very nice stuff. But the spray down from Tingsker is good for 1. Looking for more. Gaddafi around the corner. And he finds another. Tingsker stays alive for TJB. Potentially looking for that res as well. They're going to have to be quick about it. As Xiao crawls for cover. 2 players from Virtual Gaming Squad taken down. Tingsker holds his own. TJB going to be proud of that.
Alphalugi just sends off into the distance. Tingsker takes down both of the players. Really, really good contest there. And now GK First picks himself up a vehicle. I don't think Alphalugi spotted him just yet. He's swinging all the way round to the top side to the other player from Virtual Gaming Squad. He's getting shot by GK First here. Will he take down Alphalugi? He can't quite get out of the way, but he might be able to take down the buggy.
And not only that, he gives time to his teammates. He allows Xiao to get some healing on, but there's another off angle as well. Tingsker spotted on the hillside, and Virtual Gaming Squad are giving as good as they get.
That's Tingsker going down to the blue as well. Bled out just too many times. GK First trying to do some solo shenanigans. In the meantime, it's Regan's Gaming. Absolutely doing some very, very good work over towards Vampire Esports. Some of the players have made it ahead though, and 1 player from Regan's is down on the ground. It is Flower, who will be picking up right now.
Trying to stay alive. Vampire Esports, 2 players now left. Shreps and Ravenclaw. Pretty much any duo from this squad can absolutely frag out their mines. And they are still, I believe, one of, if not the highest elimination count team. 64 elims so far before this game. Higher than everyone else right now for Vampire Esports. They have absolutely been fragging out their mines. A lot of that as well, you kind of have to remember, is that game 1 that we saw yesterday. It was 24 elims coming through from that game. That's about 1/3 of their total kill count.
Still doing really well. kill switch though, runs up to the building. The Vivo Key's taken down, will be taken out here. The rest of Vivo Key trying to move up, but it's Polo that sees the run-in, jumps out the vehicle, sends out the windshield.
There's only one player left for Vivo Keyed. Is Polo going to be able to hold out? 1 versus 4. Vivo Keyed for Brazil trying to take down this thorn in their side. In Polo, the Lone Ranger from back to back. And Adrian's got him all the way on the swivel, giving them a whole do-si-do. And hopefully a do-si-dose of his own medicine as well. Adrian with the spray. It's good. Through the doorway, will be able to land it onto Polo. Unfortunately, they lose Diego, but they'll keep 3 up.
Yeah, this is really good. Be able to get both of those players back up off the floor. Virtual Gaming Squad will be still running with somewhat of a squad here.
This is a replay of the spray down from Tingsker that we saw earlier. TJB keeping things going, but they're down to 2 with one of them knocked, and that's an outside play zone knock as well. I think it's just GK first now. Going to be left in the fight for TJB after their trials that they face.
Stalwart took quite the while to move out from San Martin, but you know, moving up to this side, there's really not a lot of good areas to hold. It's very, very much covered in ditches, little ridge lines that you can play in, but not a lot of hard cover here. So it's kind of hide and seek for a lot of these teams at the moment.
Vampire Esports, both of these players, both of these remaining players for Vampire Esports on the same bike here. I wonder what they're going for. They're going to be rotating right next to GK First, who's the Lone Ranger there. Spray downs across the way. GK First hops out, and they have to duck for cover. An immediate right shift. Nice control there coming through from Ravenclaw to try and keep them alive down the hillside. They need to move fast. A crash is going to be a death sentence. This is a death run, and he's making it work. Up over the top. They might even have to come into contact with Downward Gaming, but no. Oh, they lose momentum, and Schweppes takes a tumble. Ravenclaw laid bare on the hillside. You're not going to get away with that. Atten take him down.
Serious action movie things right there from Ravenclaw, though, with player Schweppes on the back with the Uzi in hand. That was just incredible to watch. The fact that he caught the wheels twice coming off some awkward angles. I mean, I don't often compliment PUBG Mobile players on their ability to control the motorbike, but I have to compliment Ravenclaw there. Looking at the circle, though, heading hard down towards the southwest. This is a chance now for Damwon Kia to put up some big points. Now it's time to control the circle. They did that extremely well in their region, in their PMPL 2022 Spring Finals. Question is, can they do it here in the PMWI? They've got an insane position from Sung up top side, but it's Nick McGalaxy who are cowering underneath, or at least using these guys as just a little bit of protection.
Sprays from Damwon Kia over towards Vivo Keyed. We were looking a little bit at those that group of 3 teams at the start of this game, Blank. Team Falcons, Reagan's Gaming, and Vampire Esports. Vampire Esports and Reagan's Gaming have now gone down in this game, so they're not really going to be moving too far. The benchmark is going to be Team Falcon's performance to try and break away from that peloton behind Stalwart Esports and try and make that catch. Team Soul, shots over towards 4 rivals, working out.
Good stuff. Goblin actually gets the explode on the vehicle there. Will take down one of the players. Morph coming head-to-head with Stalwart at the moment. We do get a replay, though, from Team Falcon taking down the final member of Regan's. Just want to check out what's happening here. Stalwart versus Morph. Nice nade. 2 players down, though, John. Just top in action. The 2 big fraggers from the team.
And Team Soul here for the third party. They spot the back of Stalwart and they will not waste any time there. Morph pick Rocky back up and he'll be in for round 2. Scry out in the circle. Not going to be resable here. Frenzy looking for some oversight into the buggy. Both of these players make the mad dash. Top takes a tickle. Not the tumble just yet, though.
Oh my goodness.
Races across the open land. We've seen this happen before and we've seen how it goes. Top really in danger now. Does go down, but Action sails away and might live to fight another day.
Action so far, currently with the highest survival time coming through from Stalwart. But this is, I think, the difference between Stalwart and Regan's. Regan's, yeah, they've been given some good circles so far, and they've been able to hold in the circles, had some really good fragging power, but it's Team Soul moving up towards USG, who had to get laywayed on the road.
DBS in hand, they're trying to hold off, but it will be dismounted on a 1-for-1 trade. USG Donuts looking to hold off with the M249 around the side, but that's dispatched as well. It's another 1-for-1 trade, but there's an off angle. They find a little bit more. Goblin and Omega now, the 2 players for Team Soul, and they are going to have to try and stay alive. And Morph is in. Rocky strikes from the top rope, looking to try and spoil their day, and more damage pours in towards the Donuts USG squad, and they cannot weather the storm. Donuts USG eliminated.
But now Morph want to get a couple more elimination points here, potentially take on the team for Soul down the way. Morph looking for just a little bit more here. They know they need more elimination points. They've only got pretty much one more day to go after the next match, the final match of the day. Rocky, though, just tries to keep his teammates up in action. 52 Esports, though, it is Wildcats harassing them.
Pushing through, Daku. Holding an angle at the back, low HP, maybe looking to pop a heal or two, no. Instead, UMP in hand, tries to stay alive, pushes in, wants to go a little bit aggressive, give him the swivel, and looks pretty good there. Actually, hang on a minute, that was... Who was that? Was that Damwon here coming in for the third party as well? Daku somehow stays alive. A little bit of meds, and Defoe goes down. Damwon Kia come through and take down the Wildcats as they try and push onto Daku.
Damwon just has such good sightlines here. Forest, as well as Sung, off in the distance. These two guys, 2 peas in a pod, honestly. They work very well together in their region. And now they're trying to control the sightlines. They'll remain on top of this mountain for as long as possible. Will Sung and Omba. Juni and Forest, though, looking to clear out their angles. Oh, my. Oh, dear.
When it works, it works. Don't question the method if the results work out. Adrian trying to hold on around the foothills of this mountain. Team Soul, with that mad crash, pick up a whole host of elimination points. They're up to 8 now, Blank.
8 eliminations in this game with 3 players still in it.
थोड़ी सी उंगलियां रख दी, हाथ रख दिए जाएंगे, लेकिन वीके के एड्रियन अभी तक ही इज लुकिंग सो गुड। नेट का बहुत अच्छा इस्तेमाल किया, लेकिन सो गुड नेट का बहुत अच्छा इस्तेमाल किया, लेकिन एक किल के साथ मौजूद हैं और 2 प्लेयर्स अभी तक सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं। अलादीन
बिल्कुल जी, 8 किल टीम सोल के खाते में आ चुके हैं खवातीन और फाइनली एक अच्छा मैच उनकी तरफ से जब वो खेला जा रहा है। लेकिन बात करेंगे हम टीम मॉड की, जिन्होंने कवर प्रोवाइड किया, एक शानदार कवर प्रोवाइड किया। काफी डैमेज देने की कोशिश की गई, लेकिन कोई भी बुलेट कनेक्ट नहीं करती। आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, ग्रेनेड उनकी तरफ से खींचा जाएगा और इस वक्त ग्रेनेड दागने की कोशिश की जा रही है। ग्रेनेड जाएगा ऑन द साइड ऑफ टीम एसटी। एक्शन इज डाउन टू 1 HP। Forced to move back, लेकिन उनको यहाँ पर टीम सोल अपना प्लेयर बचाने की कोशिश करती हुई, टीम सोल इंडिया के लिए अब खेलती हुई शानदार तरीके से नजर आ रही है। मोर्फ जिन्होंने जिंदा रहने की कोशिश में जो है वो मदद की थी टीम सोल की, अब वही टीम सोल अपने कदमों पे खड़े होकर उसी टीम मॉड को एलिमिनेट करने की कोशिश करने वाली है। बट नाउ आप देखिए किस तरह से एक टीम जो डिफेंडिंग स्टांस में थी वो अटैकिंग स्टांस में जाती है। एक मौका उनको अच्छा मिला, चुके हैं, स्पेस देते हुए डीलूजी के ऊपर आखिरी पे फॉरेस्ट मौजूद। लेकिन क्या यहाँ पर सोल वर्सेस मॉर्फ फाइट बनती है? सोल डिसएडवांटेज में, ये बात आप जान लें, मॉर्फ एडवांटेज में, बिकॉज दे हैव दैट हाइट। लेकिन सोल को पुश करता हुआ सर्कल ओमेगानो को जाएंगे, ग्रेनेड गोब्लिन स्पैम करते हुए शिफ्ट नॉक करते हुए हेडशॉट करेक्ट, लेकिन खुद भी डाउन हो जाते हैं। नाउ इट्स अ 1v3। सोल बड़ी मुश्किल में बचती हुई और उनका एलिमिनेशन, उनका मुकद्दर ऑलमोस्ट
लेफ्ट से जाना पड़ेगा। मॉर्फ को मारते हुए जाएंगे तो जोन मिलेगा।
वो जो आखिरी वो देते हुए जिंदा रहने टीम सोल की, लेकिन ग्रेनेड आता है। माय गॉड, टीम सोल
अच्छा मैच, वेल प्लेड, अच्छा मैच था।
ओके, I can just not absorb this. They were looking too good. लड़के चीते बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे थे इस मैच में, और at time DWJ के आने डामॉन
अच्छा मैच
को जब उन्होंने एलिमिनेट थोड़ी देर के लिए स्टेल्थीनेस के अंदर चली गई थी, डॉर्मेंट हो चुके थे टीम और उनको टाइम भी मिल चुका था रिवाइव दे भी रहे थे। दिल पर लगी, बहुत ज्यादा दिल पर लगी होगी, लेकिन अभी के लिए टीम मॉफ के ये तीनों
मोमेंटम आया, धीरे-धीरे मोमेंटम आया।
2v3
But
v2
finally
सिचुएशन यहाँ
15
उधर इंडिया के फैंस भी है बे, चिल्ला रहे थे सोल मार रही
15
देखा तुमने,
points.
सुना तुमने?
That was too good. That
उधर
was
इंडिया से भी फैंस है।
too good. Exactly. Finally
Indian
वो
fans भी
moment
उधर
आ
वो
चुका
सोल मार
जिसका
रहे थे,
हमें
चिल्ला रहे
इंतजार
थे
था,
बिल्कुल।
इंडियन फैंस को इंतजार था, और आई थिंक सो खुशी तो जरूर हुई होगी। अब हम देखना चाहते हैं अगले मैचेस के अंदर टीम सोल और 52 को एक साथ परफॉर्म करते हुए, लेकिन अभी के लिए वीवो किट के प्ले स्पॉट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन DWG के प्लेयर्स एक बहुत रिस्की मूव लेते हुए वैन के अंदर आते हैं, लेकिन बैक एंड के ऊपर उनके जो प्लेयर्स हैं वो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से पुश बैक करते हैं एड्रियन को, लेकिन एड्रियन उसी प्लेयर को सबसे पहले पिक ऑफ करते हैं और जूनी को नॉकडाउन करने में कामयाब हो जाते हैं एड्रियन। और अब DWG के दो प्लेयर्स बिल्कुल साइड बाय साइड इनके मौजूद रहने वाले। एड्रियन काफी देर से सर्वाइव करते हुए, टीम वीवो किट के एक और प्लेयर मौजूद है जिनके पास MK14 मौजूद रहेगी। यहाँ पर ग्रेलिन कुछ कर सकते हैं, लेकिन शॉटगन यहाँ पर मौजूद है, क्लोज नहीं आने देना, क्लोज नहीं आने देना। आई रिपीट, शॉटगन के ऊपर चिप करते हैं, DPS इन हैंड एंड ही गेट्स एलिमिनेटेड। दिस वाज अ वार्निंग फ्रॉम DWG सो क्लोज फॉर द चिकन डिनर। अब आखिरी प्लेयर मौजूद है, बैक एंड के ऊपर एक आखिरी टीम मौजूद है, 2v2 सिचुएशन बन चुकी है। DWG के एक प्लेयर बिल्कुल हाई ग्राउंड के ऊपर मौजूद रहने वाले फ्रेंजी बढ़ेंगे आगे की तरफ, लेकिन ही इज जस्ट वेटिंग। वो रहना चाहते हैं रिस्क, ये जो रिज यहाँ पर मौजूद है उसके पीछे रहना चाहते हैं। DWG जोन से एलिमिनेट होते हुए, और टीम मॉफ एक अच्छे स्पॉट के ऊपर आ चुकी है, हाई ग्राउंड के पास मौजूद है, नेट्स का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। DWG के प्लेयर्स के पास शॉटगन भी मौजूद रहने वाली, UAP 45 का कॉम्बिनेशन भी मौजूद रहेगा उनके पास, लेकिन मॉफ के पास कोई भी कवर मौजूद नहीं है। अगर मॉफ नीचे की तरफ आते, मॉफ के प्लेयर नीचे की तरफ आते हैं, DPS का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है वंस अगेन, AKM से उनका किल भी कंफर्म किया जाता है एंड द गेम इज ओवर। टीम DWG was too good in this match. Just look at their smiles, कितने जबरदस्त तरीके से।
क्रेजी भाई गाइस, सोलो भी इन द चैट हो जाए। अच्छा मैच गया, फाइनली मजा आ गया।
नॉक किया, वो पहले नॉक हो जाता ना तो सोल
फटाफट।
फिर वहां से मतलब इनको मॉर्फ के साथ फाइट ले सकते हैं।
सोलो भी इन द चैट हो जाए। अरे वो मॉर्फ वाली फाइट निकाल लेते, कसम से मजा आया।
कोई ना नाइस ट्राई बट
अच्छा मैच गया बे, कमबैक आया है।
हाँ
अरे वो मॉर्फ वाली फाइट सेमी निकाल लेते ना, मां कसम।
भाई
बट नीचे थे ना, डाउन द रिच
भाई मैं बोल रहा था यार, दिल से मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था सोल का चिकन है, बट ठीक है कोई ना भाई, अच्छा खेले।
अच्छा मोमेंटम बना होगा अब।
यस
अगला मैच बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, लास्ट मैच है ना अगला? लास्ट मैच है अगला या दो मैच है और? यस दो मैच है
अभी। तो कितने मैच हुए? ये 4th मैच था ना?
हाँ फिर और दो मैच है।
दो मैच है।
भाई
मैच
साहब
5 था, एक मैच बचा है ब्रो, लास्ट मैच।
लास्ट था,
मैच 5 था ये। आज जल्दी हो गए बे, कल तो 9:30 तक चला था।
मैच 5 था मेरा।
हाँ पहला इरांजन सैनोक, नहीं मिरामार सैनोक, फिर मिरामार, नहीं 4th मैच था बे।
वो मैच 5 लिखा हुआ आ रहा था नीचे यहाँ पे,
हैं?
डे 2 मैच 5 लिखा हुआ आ रहा है।
हाँ लास्ट बचा 5th मैच था।
मैच पाया था।
अबे आज जल्दी हो गया। अबे कल 9:30 बजे तक लेके गए थे बे लोग। आज जल्दी 7:30 ही बजा है। हाँ फटाफट स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। कॉन्फिडेंस आ रहा है गाइस। सोलो ओपी इन द चैट। अभी बहुत अच्छा जंप मारे होंगे लोग, ये लोग अच्छा जंप मारे होंगे, मैं बताता हूँ तुमको देख के। लोग अच्छा जंप मारे हो, पॉइंट्स टेबल बताता हूँ। गाइस पॉइंट्स टेबल आ गए। सोल अभी 49 पॉइंट्स पे 15th पे, एंड 5th के पॉइंट्स है 97 पॉइंट्स, 48 पॉइंट्स का लीड है। अच्छे मैचेस सही है, अपने को अच्छे मैचेस सही। टॉप 5 एंड करने गए ना तो अच्छे मैचेस सही। कल के मैचेस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेंगे। ये आज का लास्ट मैच बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा। अगर आज का लास्ट मैच भी ऐसे एक 15-20 पॉइंट का गेम निकलता है ना तो कल अच्छा सा मोमेंटम बन जाएगा। कॉन्फिडेंस आ रहा है धीरे धीरे, अच्छा लगा बहुत। फर्स्ट पे स्टारवर्ड ई स्पोर्ट्स 129, सेकंड पे फाल्कन्स 111, थर्ड पे रेगन्स मतलब आरएसजी, रेगन्स गेमिंग मतलब आरएसजी 110, वैम्पायर ई स्पोर्ट्स फोर्थ पे 103। वैम्पायर ई स्पोर्ट्स आज का दिन स्टार्ट होने के पहले फर्स्ट पे थी, सीधा आ गई है 4th पे। डाउन वन गेम में अभी चिकन मार के सीधा 6th पे आ गई भाई। स्टारवर्ड फर्स्ट पे अभी 129 पॉइंट्स, क्रेजी ब्रो। ये लोग इतना 1-2 मैच खराब गया फिर भी फर्स्ट पे मेंटेन कर रहे लोग। आ रहा है अपनी टीम का भी थोड़ा थोड़ा धीरे धीरे मोमेंटम बन रहा है। अच्छा लगा, बहुत अच्छा लगा ये मैच, क्रेजी मैच था, मजा आ गया। अभी टॉप 6 क्वालिफाई होंगी, टॉप 5 क्वालिफाई होंगी। टॉप 5 क्वालिफाई है ना, 6 थोड़ी है। टॉप 5 क्वालिफाई है ना। मोमेंटम बन रहा है, लेट आया मोमेंटम बट कोई नहीं, बन रहा है, वो देख के अच्छा लगा। मस्त खेले भाई, किल्स विल्स अच्छा निकाले लोग, किल्स विल्स अच्छा निकाले, 9 किल निकाल लेते, मस्त किल निकाले, किल विल मस्त निकाले, टफ वही है ना, क्रेजी वे, क्रेजी वे। रॉकेट्स इन द चैट गाइस, फटाफट जितने भी लोग देख रहे हैं रॉकेट्स इन द चैट हो जाए। आ रहा है, अपनी टीम का कमबैक आया, ठोको गाइस ठोको, जितने भी लोग नए फॉलो जरूर ठोक देना गाइस, वी आर वेरी क्लोज टू 1 मिलियन फॉलोअर्स हम लोग को। आज 850 के करा दो यार, तुम फॉलो नहीं ठोक रहे यार, मैं देख रहा हूँ फॉलो नहीं ठोक रहे, फॉलो ठोको बे, फॉलो कैसा, फटाफट फॉलो ठोको। इसी बात पे कमबैक आया अपनी टीम का, तो ये तो बजाना पड़ेगा ना वाह। लेट्स गो लेट्स गो लेट्स गो लेट्स गो गाइस, रॉकेट्स इन द चैट। अभी सबका मूड अच्छा हो गया होगा ये मैच देखने के बाद, सबका मूड अच्छा हुआ होगा मैच देखने के बाद, इसी बात पे हो जाए।
हवा नूं चीरदा जावे लगे बास दी चुंझ हट, हथ नहीं आंदा जट नहीं फड़ लैंदे इफ दे कट, गैसोलीना फुल्ला टैंकी हत्थां विच बूजिया महंगी दे,
खाने के लिए कुछ नहीं गया।
लेटां लगदियां तारे चढ़े सिरां नूं ने पारे जांदी उड्डदी फरारी लगे स्पैश, लेटां लगदियां तारे चढ़े सिरां नूं ने पारे जांदी उड्डदी फरारी लगे स्पैश। V12 इंजन ते गुंजे ललकार ने, लड़न दी सेना नालों तेज रफ्तार ने, 3 डिग्री हाईवे ते उड्डण नूं जांदी जिद्दां इंजन लाया हुंदा बॉब लज़ार ने, रौला सुणकार दा नी सीने उड्डी डार दा नी, टैरां देख रोडे उत्ते छड्डी, लट्टां लगदियां तारे चढ़े सिरां नूं ने पारे जांदी उड्डदी,
somehow stays alive, a little bit of
लगदियां तारे चढ़े सिरां नूं ने पारे जांदी उड्डदी फरारी लगे,
Still doing really well.
लट्टां लगदियां तारे चढ़े सिरां नूं ने पारे जांदी उड्डदी,
It all lays on the back of these.
साठियां जी वाली अड़ बल्ला लेमनी, पॉप कर लगदी ना दुनिया जेवनी, गड्डियां दा चक्का यारा रखिया दा जदा, मस्कली propulsion दी गेमनी, गिलट लौंज कुड़े बोलदे आ घट जदों बोलदे ते मूंह ते बक्की लाउंदे, लैटां लगदियां तारे चढ़े सिरां नूं ने पारे जांदी उड्डदी फरारी लगे स्पेसशिप, लैटां लगदियां तारे चढ़े
floor. Virtual Gaming Squad will be still running with somewhat of a squad here.
Looking for some oversight into the buggy. Both of these players make the mad dash. Top takes a tickle. Not the tumble just yet, though.
Oh my goodness.
Races across the open land. We've seen this happen before, and we've seen how it goes. Another day.
This is, I think, the difference between Sword and they've been able to hold in the circles. Had some really good fragging power, but it's Team Soul moving up towards USG, who had to get laywayed on the road.
DBS in hand. They're trying to hold off, but it will be dismounted on a 1-for-1 trade. USG Donuts looking to hold off with the M249 around the side, but that's dispatched as well. It's another 1-for-1 trade, but there's an off angle. They find a little bit more. Goblin and Omega now, the 2 players for Team Soul, and they are going to have to try and stay alive.
Morph.
And Morph is in. Rocky strikes from the top rope, looking to try and spoil their day, and more damage pours in towards the Donuts USG squad, and they cannot weather the storm. Donuts USG eliminated.
But now Morph want to get a couple more elimination points here, potentially take on the team for Soul down the way. Morph looking for just a little bit more here. They know they need more elimination points. They've only got pretty much one more day to go after the next match, the final match of the day. Rocky, though, just tries to keep his teammates up in action. 52 esports, though, it is Wildcats harassing them.
Pushing through, Daku. Holding an angle at the back, low HP, maybe looking to pop a heal or two, no. Instead, UMP in hand, tries to stay alive, pushes in, wants to go a little bit aggressive, give him the swivel, and looks pretty good there. Actually, hang on a minute, that was... Who was that? Was that Damwork here coming in for the third party as well? Daku somehow stays alive. They try and push onto Daku.
Down1 just has such good sightlines here. Forest, as well as Sung off in the distance. These two guys, 2 peas in a pod, honestly. They work very well together in their region. And now they're trying to control these sightlines. They'll remain on top of this mountain for as long as possible. Will Sung and Omba. Juni and Forest, though, looking to clear out their angles. Oh my. Oh dear.
Work out this mountain. Team Soul
in this game with 3 players sidelines as they move along the underside of this ridge. You can see Goblin tries to take shots over towards him. He's in the smoke. It's only a matter of time here. Take shots over towards him. Lines as they move along the underside of this ridge. You can see Goblin tries to take shots over towards him. He's in the smoke. It's only a matter of time here.
Action under fire in the smoke. Somehow does stay alive, but the nade is not going to be so kind. Dropping that damage in. That's a bombardment and a half, but Action still has that sliver. He's running away, looking for the challenge, but that's not going to go well. Akshat does find the mark. Morph puts a nade down and sees to try and does find the mark. Morph puts a nade down and sees to try and slow Soul out, but they are going to push on up. 3 players alive, 3 players for Morph. It's found onto Zay, but not going to get that knock just yet. Putting him in that shack though, and maybe he's going to have to stay there.
Damwon Kia start to spike out, but it's Vivo, Keed, Adrian taking down Junie here. So now they're down to just 3 players. A little bit unreasonable for Junie at the moment. If I remember correctly, he was one of the players up towards the off angles. Now Omba down, just Forest. Goodness me, Damwon Kia, it looked on set for a winner chicken dinner here, but their chances have been dashed. Can they get these players back up in action? Sung, massive oversight still.
Yeah, needs to hold that position. Sung is now their only lifeline, unless they can get big reses. Soul mount the offensive. They know Damwon Kia has been shredded, and they will go 1-for-1. The trade in the back line as well. Here comes Damwon Kia. This is Sung. He's spoiling everything for basically everyone. Akshat needs to get this res. They're right on the edge of the blue. Morph put a nade in the right place, and it's game over. It's curtains for Soul, and Zay might just be able to do it. That is Team Soul down.
Morph still in this one. It was pricey, but Sung has bought time for the rest of the team. It's going to be difficult for him to get down from this position, but now it all lays on the back of these players that are currently not in the greatest positions. Morph still has a shack to play around with, but it's Vivo Keed, surprisingly. They get into the circle. Damwon Kia, they need to stretch back over towards Sung at the moment, but he really does need to stay alive now. He's done his best, but his job is just to live on top of this mountain.
There is no way for Vivo Key to retreat from this fight with Morph. It's coming, and they cannot stop it. Damwon Kia are going to allow it, well, should allow it to happen. And see what they can pick up in terms of the pieces. Sung, once that team Morph is taken down, can just start bobbling nades into Vivo Key's lap.
Damwon rock up in the party bus here. It's defensive, and they're sending right in the charger.
They don't want to wait, it seems. They are absolutely game for it. But over the top, here comes Morph. Those sightlines being suppressed. Adrian looks for the challenge and wins it out against Junie. Gets the knock, wants the flush, but won't quite be able to find it. There's a ridgeline there for the time being, but the blue zone is encroaching. Where are Morph in this fight? Adrian has been allowed so much free reign to just shoot and take down Damwon Kia around the side as well. The MK14 rages damage in, but it's not going to be enough. There's the nade over the back, and the challenge from the DBS is good. This is the Korean specialty, the shotgun at close range.
That's right, it is the DBS Korean, and they're coming in clutch with that one. You're loving to see the meta from that region sneak into the inter-regional dynamic. Now it's Morph, Frenzy.
Without Sung as well, he got taken down in the meantime. It's 2 versus 2. It's an even fight here. Damwon Gaming have just come off the back of an engagement, so they might be a little bit lacking, but the health bars aren't.
Of us, you can with the PMWI Watch together, and you can complete some daily missions to earn some points, and once enough of those points are accumulated, you can tap on the rewards icon to claim the corresponding rewarding game.
You can participate in the event solo or team up with other players, both totally fine, and if you team up, it could be a little bit easier to get the reward.
And if you were very, very observant, you might have seen in the bottom left corner a little gun skin coming through, as well as an outfit here. That sale period's on through from the 4th of August through to the 13th of August. That's 50% off PMWI packs. And you get the set straight away, get a set straight away, and 5 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
Of course, that sale period will end on the 13th, but on the 14th until the 14th of August until the 15th of September, 16% off PMWI packs, and you get 6 chances of those to draw PMWI treasure chests.
I'm somewhat confused at what's going on here between these two teams. It's the Virtual Gaming squad who have moved very, very quickly out of Lipovka over towards prison. DD's currently in prison, literally locked in by Virtual Gaming squad. The rest of Regans are surrounding, but Yafoz, big off-angle here, but he's just allowed Flower C to take out one of his teammates and then maybe even get away.
Ooh, he has not been set down. Look at this. It's the push down. RSG want more to do with this. Unfortunately, it's not going to go well at the start. Maybe looking for the trade on the swivel around the side. No, can't quite get it done. And that will be the M249. Just too many rounds to deal with. Lightning stays alive and lights them up beautifully. But the rest of his team potentially not so lucky. DD able to fade away behind some cover. Yeah, Flower with no contest on the back now. It's just going to be easy pickings. One shot, wants to push up, wants to challenge DD. He knows he's around this side. DD heads up rotation back to the wall gap. Will be able to play around it as well. One shot up to the position, goes out wide, doesn't win that trade, gets over the wall with a sweet little hop, skip and a jump, but unfortunately for him, DD too fast.
Goodness me, DD pulling the Rorschach in the prison here. Really, really well done to them with the Watchmen on the top side, just looking down out for him. Regans make short work of the Virtual Gaming squad, and now they have full control over prison over on this eastern side. They do see, I don't think they will see just yet. They may have heard Eitan Esports moving up from that eastern side up towards Lipovka.
Oh, a spin out there, but it's good for Cielo. Able to get one knock. Unfortunately, Goblin was absolutely on the turret there, and they should be able to get this res. Team Soul going 1-for-1 on knocks, but able to get that flush as well. Will slow them down, however.
I will say Goblin's been pretty effective for Team Soul at the moment. I've been very happy with him. Honestly, you know, you have a lot of long-standing names over in India, right? But I mean, Goblin has been doing some good stuff, and you know, relatively new, at least to me, as a player here on Seoul. Falcons over towards Yasnaya at the moment. More for GGG right next to them. But with this kind of circle, there is real potential for Team Falcons in second place. Remember, still not yet been taken over. Not the most amazing of days, but still points to be had, as well as that 20-pointer over on Sandhawk. So they are really reluctant to give up one of those top positions.
Bevo keyed 3 players, losing 1 to Team Soul. Moving in, they're trying to head out to the east. Currently just in the circle with Enigma Galaxy to their south. And they're going to be heading to the south side of school, south side of apartments. Just north of Potato Hill as well, using that nice smooth ground to be able to pass through into this eastern block.
Stalwart at the moment, down towards Novarup Neuer still. What a surprise. This team really does rotate in late, and that's absolutely fine for them. Recently, it's been a bit of a bother considering some of the hardships that they've had to deal with. Again, though, still getting towards those top positions is fantastic stuff for Stalwart. They're continuing to keep that point-scoring machine going, and that's all what it's all about. Vampire Esports rotating alongside Wildcats, who came up early from Sosnovka military base, so these dudes really do have to be careful here. Enigma Galaxy also coming down from Pachinki, but I doubt they'll be swaying into the path. But Wildcats just a little bit too fast for the guys from Vampire Esports. They're already ahead, waiting with a stake in hand.
4 players are alive for Vampire Esports, though. And the question is, what paths are they going to take once they get into this next circle? It's still going to be the first, and in a moment, the second circle ticking away at them. So their meds should be enough to sustain them for the time being. Keep them in the shade and try and truck on in.
Flower still up towards the top side. Now, he moved up to get a little bit of information just the west side of Lipovka, but on the other hand, you do have the rest of the team taking out at least one player in Polo, coming through from back to back. Action's still doing some ridiculous damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's, what is that, 700 ahead of Lightning. Very, very cool stuff coming through from Action. Love to see it. The circle went up towards Yasnaya Poliana, so those fields will be absolutely crucial to be able to get some control over.
Falcons, though, from Yasnaya, this is a really good position for them, and you all are also in a great position. Through from the 4th of August through the 13th. All users in the region of the top 3 teams, current Team Falcons in that one, they'll have a chance to win a prize. And it's a maximum of 1 award per user. Regans, though, takes down another.
Looking to all this res as well to keep DD alive. Falcons in the middle of Yasnaya Poliana right now. Obviously getting quite a bit of home crowd support. They're going to have to fight off against Morph just to be able to survive in this location. But on the east side, they've got some decent control over a lot of these teams, trying to prevent them from gaining any ground there.
Absolutely. I think the energy here must be so fantastic for Team Falcons, right? You know, and no matter what, I don't think any game can get you down with a crowd like that. Stalwart, though, finally coming into the circle. They made a speedy entrance here, currently taking some shots over towards Wildcats. I think this game is one where Stalwart really do need to pull up the socks here. This is time to make a big splash in the circle because, you know, they can only sustain themselves on those consistent points for so long. They do need to have some breakout games, especially in this 3-day format.
Wildcats do get away with it. Scry not able to land the spray on the ridgeline rotation there. 2 players for the Wildcats get away in the Dacia. Doot all the way out to the east now as they swing around the south side.
The Stalwart at least do send Wildcats back. Remember, these guys actually made their way on the western bridge very, very quickly, past Vampire Esports, and somehow Stalwarts, they've leapfrogged them. Again, it's not too much of a wander up towards that eastern bridge for Stalwart from Novoribnoye, so for them, it's still pretty decent though to get into the circle. I think they understand that, you know, they can only play edge for so long, right? And they need to get a little bit into the circle first, then they can start to really make some big things happen by clearing those edges. But clearing those edges for a straight 15 minutes hasn't really been working out for them.
Hopefully, better luck in their future. Back to back with just Kill Switch left on the squad. Has managed to get into the middle of Yasnaya Poliana.
Yeah, I just seen that as well. He is really just holding it down there, right?
He's back to back with both Morph and Falcons right now.
Absolutely, a literal rock and a hard place. Not a good place to be at the moment for him. But still, Yasnaya is one of those places where there is a huge amount of buildings around it. With our next circle coming in, we'll see if he does have to move. He really doesn't want to move. He'll be very visible from both these teams. Dead center here, you can see on the map. Damwon, though, currently holding down towards the southwest of Yasna, and they do get the circle, so this could be another great game off the back of their Miramar, which was fantastic.
And another good game for Team Seoul over at Miramar as well. Pretty decent performance they had. A lot of eliminations, survived fairly late into it as well. Picked up a couple of points. They also get the shift. So we'll see what they can do with their wedge of the circle in the moments to come. At the moment, Box Gaming look like they want to encroach onto that territory. Team Seoul are grouped up just a little bit. So if Box establish this ridgeline, create off angles, Team Seoul could really struggle.
Still, the amount of teams that have headed east in this circle, and then we get one of those crackbacks on the circle here, where it really gives you a bit of that whiplash heading over towards Rozhok here. Vampire Esports were afraid to move a little bit too far over towards the east, considering they're not seeing too many teams. And I think that's a smart decision. You don't want to move too far that way, because you can kind of understand, with the scouting that you've done, you've not seen too many of the teams other than Wildcats. Most of the teams are already on that eastern side. So now they've got pick of the litter, basically holding 50% of the circle to themselves on that southwest edge. This is really good stuff, but it is going to be an absolute boxing ring, or more like a wrestling ring with the amount of players that are going to be in this one on this eastern side.
Honestly, I'm thinking cage match at this point. It's not going to be pleasant.
Yeah, that
river cutting things down that lake as well, and the Yasnaya fields. Goodness me, yeah, you're right. It is.
It's brutal.
Unpleasantness. It's unpleasantness.
Yeah, it's real brutal here. Stalwart looked to go straight center, pick up the chair almost immediately. See what they can get done with it. I think at the moment, this is absolutely fine. I think that's the smart move from Stalwart here. They know they want to get as central as possible early in the game. I think they've been, like I said before, they've been struggling when they don't get that center. I think they have been unlucky with it though, and it's the Stalwarts is the type of team where I think that, they get gifted some circles. It doesn't often happen because they're playing edge so much, but they get gifted some circles. They now have to take this approach where they send very, very central, or at least for a hot point on the map, because they're a type of team that I imagine, if you have the circle to it, I don't think there's much you can do versus Stalwart.
Spray down onto the vehicle. Axon up the hill. 52 trying to hold out in the showroom. Not going to have the best at luck at finding these angles just yet, but Anton not really taking this initiative because 52 Esports, they're outside of the zone, half of them anyway.
Yeah, 52 Esports have been struggling, and it's strange to see as well, considering their Stalber start, right? They do move all the way over the top side, I think, to try and avoid some of these teams, but again, central circle here, heads up towards more for rivals. This does give a little bit of a chance to Falcons, who are trying to move in from the eastern side. Kill switch, not spotted yet over in Yasnaya, still keeping it real over there. Regans, though, they've swung down south. I think they were expecting the circle to stay around this area of school and apartments, but now they'll be heading in from that southwest edge towards Vampire Esports as well as Stalwart. So 3 teams who I would say are very, very dangerous in a clash. They could cause themselves some big problems.
Ralph bringing the vehicle a little bit closer. What have you seen?
Oh, sorry. Regans have just slipped through the net here somehow, straight into the circle itself.
Well, Stalwart are in the fight of their own as Akshat pushes on in. Action is down, has been knocked. Top fragger for the team, so a real difficult situation there. Akshat rolls on in, finds another. Team Seoul with their lead player at the moment doing absolute work. Akshat once more as well around the side. Pika looks to hold it down whilst they get the res onto Action. Damage through the window found. Looking for more as they push on in. Akshat, does he have the backup? The rest of Team Seoul need to be on the back heel here, pushing in, and just in time Goblin sends in through the door. Scry goes down, Top soon to follow. Pika on the back wall as Hector swings around wide. Pika falls, excellent flank. Hector wants the back line, but it's Action coming through. Look at a storm back in for Team Stalwart. Omega needs to get into the fray now as Akshat once again left in a sticky spot around the bottom of the stairwell. Maybe looking to try and send this res is risky, but it looks like it might work. Action spots the push from Omega, and he's doing so much right now for the squad. Top fragger of this tournament so far, and he's got 3 players from Seoul to deal with. Cannot handle the pressure, and that is Team Seoul taking out Stalwart.
Goodness me, who would believe that? Team Seoul takes down first place Stalwart in a surprising turn of events there. And Team Seoul, after that last game on Miramar, seem to have got some of their confidence back. Their Goblins still a real force to be reckoned with. Now it's Lux trying to find some nades here, John.
On towards Donuts USG. Lux takes a little lick of damage there. These foxholes are deadly for nades. If you find one in, it's like a funnel towards the teammates holding on in there. Boran knows that. He's going to pop one in, try to find these Donuts USG players. 3 of them alive.
Omikun through the smoke, though, finds Defo. Has his infrared on there. Somehow. X-Ray not able to do the same despite the name. Now I'll be looking for something just a little bit more. Heads back over towards Defoe to try and pick him up. X-Ray, though, real good fragger for the team. Boran can maybe use a little bit of scouting, but it's USG making the run in.
Uh-oh, X-Ray goes down with a nice little over-the-lip push coming through, but Omikun wants to try and hold it down. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, their off angle was third-partied away by Enigma Galaxy, and that was go time. Donuts USG stay alive and take a good fight there.
This is his play from Goblin, He was just darting around the house. Unfortunately, he did go down, but considering he was only 1 player before the rest of the team all rocked up into action, that was some very, very good work, staying defensive for the rest of the team. And Team Seoul, goodness me, great stuff from them. They'll get 5 eliminations.
बड़ा ओमेगा आते हैं लिटरली लो एचपी थे लेकिन स्टिल ही वाज क्वाइट गुड और एक बहुत अच्छा एक रिस्की बूट था लेकिन बहुत फ्रूटफुल साबित हुआ 87 के प्लेयर सामने की तरफ मौजूद रहते हैं टीम के प्लेयर्स अभी भी निशानदेही करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं सर्कल का शिफ्ट आता है सर्कल बहुत दूर चला जाता है डीडब्ल्यूजी को कंप्लीटली फायदा पहुंचाता हुआ 52 is still inside the circle
How?
on a
Mazoon
good
यार।
spot.
टावर
फेरो को मैं
फेरो की IGL
देनी पड़ेगी एग्जैक्टली जितनी दाद हो सकती है फेरो को यहाँ देनी पड़ेगी बिकॉज दिस वाज समथिंग
विक्टर स्काउट करने जा रहा है।
इम्पॉसिबल जो उन्होंने करके
कहाँ जा रहे
दिखाया।
हैं?
उनको मॉर्फ कैंप कर रही थी
कहाँ
उनके
गया?
बिल्कुल
शैकली आ
रास्ते
गया?
में फॉर राइवल मौजूद थी बट द स्टिल में देयर वाज
अरे गिरा दिया रिएक्टर को यार।
किल फीड चलती हुई डब्ल्यूजी के प्लेयर्स की बात
नहीं
करेंगे वो यहाँ पर
यार।
नॉक निकालते हुए सोल के ऊपर एंड किल
दो
कंफर्म भी
बंदे
किया
बचे।
जाएगा
भाई जोन कैसे
जोनी यहाँ
तैसे
पर
पहुंच
हेक्टर
जाए
को
भाई,
कंफर्म करते हुए
प्लीज।
सोल इज डाउन टू 2 प्लेयर्स नाउ लेकिन
कैसे
वहीं
तैसे जोन
पर
पहुंच
निगमा
जाए भाई।
गैलेक्सी दे हैव 6 kills in their backpack आरएससी 8 kills कंफर्म
कैसा
करने के बाद
तैसा
जैसे
जोन
ही
पहुंच
अपना
जाए
किल
भाई,
गवाते
मजा
हैं
आ
उसके
जाएगा।
बाद से
प्लीज ये दो बंदे अच्छा
किसी भी
सर्वाइवल
फाइट में
5 किल
अपने आप को
निकाल लिए
डाला नहीं है,
वे।
लेकिन फाल्कन की
5
बात
किल
करेंगे
निकाले
दाद
टॉप
देंगे
पे आ जाए
उनको
भाई।
भी जिंदा
मां
है इस
कसम
पूरे
यार।
मैच के अंदर और अभी तक जो है वो काफी ज्यादा
भाई,
promising
टावर
नजर
चले
आ
जाओ
रही है
ब्रो।
ये टीम भी किल्स बजाय
भाई,
इनके
प्लीज
पास
टॉप
एक
पे आ जाओ
नहीं
भाई।
है लेकिन
टॉप पे आ जाओगे, 5 किल निकाले, बस 11-12 पॉइंट हो जाएंगे।
एंड
आज
यू
का
को
दिन
पहला
अच्छा
किल उनके
एंड
बैक
होगा।
में जाता हुआ आती
टॉप 5 चाहिए यार, टॉप 5 चाहिए यार।
जी
चलो
बिल्कुल
मेरे
पहला
यार
किल उनके
सर्वाइवल दिखा
बैकपैक
दे
में
यार।
जा चुका है टीम फाल्कन्स उन
एक
थोड़े
top
ही
5
स्क्वाड्स
गेम
में
यार।
से एक स्क्वाड है, एक नाम है ऐसा जिनके चारों के चारों प्लेयर्स अभी तक सरवाइव कर रहे हैं
विक्टर का बेचारा क्या ही करता है,
उनको
scouting
ज्यादा
करने
aggressive
गया
भी नहीं
था
होना तो दे आर ऑन अ गुड स्पॉट। लेकिन कुछ फायर्स की आवाज गूंजती हुई इस सारे मंजर में, सारे प्ले एरिया में M762 का इस्तेमाल किया गया है और यहाँ पर M249 भी मौजूद रहेगी फाल्कन ई स्पोर्ट्स के प्लेयर्स के पास। लेकिन USG अब थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्रोमाइज लोकेशन के ऊपर आ चुकी है। वो कुछ स्मोक्स का इस्तेमाल करना चाह रहे हैं अपने हक में कि थोड़ा सा एक ब्लाइंड विजन, एक वर्चुअल कवर डिप्लॉय करते हुए नजर आए ताकि कोई क्रॉसेस उनके ऊपर ना आ सके। लेकिन अभी के लिए RSG थोड़ा सा एग्रेसिव होती हुई कुछ थर्ड पार्टी किल्स स्कोर करते हुए गेट कीप किया जा रहा है टीम 87 के स्क्वाड को। लेकिन बैक एंड से कुछ अटैक्स का सामना भी उनको करना पड़ रहा है। DWG के फॉरेस्ट
इसके बाद ये टॉप फ्रैगर
टेक डाउन करने में कामयाब हो चुके हैं। टीम सोल अपना दूसरा इनफैक्ट तीसरा खिलाड़ी भी गवा चुकी है और स्टैंडिंग टीम अभी एक प्लेयर को
प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट लेने का नहीं है। 11-11 किल ऐसे ही कर देते स्टार्टिंग में।
एक नॉकडाउन है, 5 किल्स उनके पास मौजूद रहेंगे।
5000 किल कंप्लीट है क्या?
सर्वाइव कर रही थी और इनफैक्ट कर भी रही है। 2 किल्स उनके पास भी मौजूद है। चारों के चारों प्लेयर्स उनके भी सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं। लेकिन RSG के लाइटिंग कोशिश कर रहे हैं ज्यादा से ज्यादा सर्वाइव किया जाए। जी नॉकडाउन है और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता चलते हुए भी आ रहे हैं लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो सर्वाइव ना कर पाएंगे। 87 के प्लेयर्स के हाथों उनको नॉक किया गया। 87 गाड़ी के नीचे दे भी सकती है लेकिन RSG के लाइटिंग के ऊपर थोड़ा सा क्रॉस एयर सेटिंग जरूर की गई है। लाइटनिंग अब देखते हैं कैसे सामना करते हैं अकेले सारी लॉबी का। लेकिन नतीजे भी के एक प्लेयर को स्पॉट डाउन करने में कामयाब हो चुके हैं। बहुत अच्छा रिटालिएट, बहुत ही खूबसूरत तरीके से रिटालिएट किया। लेकिन 87 एटॉन ई स्पोर्ट्स के प्लेयर्स बैक एंड से आते हैं और वो भी किल कंफर्म कर लेते हैं। TJB को भी इस मैच से एलिमिनेट कर दिया जाता है। जोन भी एक शिफ्ट लेकर चला जाता है। RSG के लाइटनिंग अभी तक सर्वाइव करते हुए 87 के प्लेयर्स सामने की तरफ मौजूद है और ये भी नॉक रजिस्टर किया जा सकता है लेकिन एक गलत डायरेक्शन में क्रॉस एयर उनका सेट किया जाता है और थोड़ा सा डाइवर्टेड जरूर रहता है। लेकिन लाइटनिंग और 87 के प्लेयर आमने सामने मौजूद है, काफी हद तक लो करते हैं, किल भी कंफर्म कर लेते हैं। टीम RSG को इस मैच से एलिमिनेट किया जाता है। #12 11 किल्स और RSG की स्ट्रेटजी कहीं ना कहीं बहुत अच्छे तरीके से एग्जीक्यूट की गई। लेकिन लुक एट 52 स्पोर्ट्स, दे हैव अ क्लियर ग्राउंड टू प्ले ऑन। बहुत ज्यादा एरिया है उनके पास जो वो अपने लिए लेकर जा सकते हैं। लेकिन सोल ओमेगा हाथ में नेट कुछ कर सकते हैं। बिल्कुल नो बैकस्टैप।
ईस्टर्न साइड खाली, नॉर्दर्न साइड खाली। ऑल यू हैव टू वॉच इज सदर्न साइड जहां पर टीम्स मौजूद है वहीं पर आपको बस दिखानी है। सर्कल आपके सामने है। इट्स एन इजी चिकन डिनर फॉर यू बट इतना भी इजी नहीं है बिकॉज़ सामने जो टीम्स मौजूद हैं उनमें निगमा गैलेक्सी सर्वाइव करी विद 7 किल्स एंड 4 men स्टैंडिंग। फाल्कन के भी 4 प्लेयर जिंदा है, 3 किल्स के पास है। DWG डायमंड गेमिंग के भी 3 किल्स के साथ 4 प्लेयर जिंदा है। सो मेरे ख्याल से यहां पर जो वो सर्वाइवल इतना आसान भी नहीं है बट फाल्कन वर्सेस DWG और निगमा गैलेक्सी सॉरी यहां पर बनता हुआ नजर आ सकता है। ओमेगा यहां पर ग्रेनेड स्पैम कर रहे हैं, अभी भी किल सर्वाइव करते हुए 5 किल्स इस टीम के बैकपैक में मौजूद है। लेकिन फाल्कन के प्लेयर गाड़ी लेकर गलती कर सकते हैं यहां पर जिस तरह से ओपन से जा रहे हैं। स्पॉट में जाएंगे फजल के तो फजल यहां पर स्पॉट करते हुए किल फीड में यहां पर ओजी सन को एलिमिनेट किया जरूर किया था लेकिन फजल फाल्कन के ऊपर काफी बुरा कहर बरसा सकते हैं। लेकिन फाल्कन
यार मर जाओ यार, टीम सारी मर जाओ यार।
ओमेगा साबित हो सकती है लेकिन फिनिश निगमा गैलेक्सी हमूदी सोल के ओमेगा के हाथों डाउन हुए जरूर बट ओमेगा स्पॉट हो जाते हैं और 5 उनको एलिमिनेट भी किया जाएगा।
पॉइंट होते हैं
2 पॉइंट टू बी फाइट बनती भी
एक बार बताना ना ये कितने पॉइंट होते हैं।
फाल्कन को पकड़ जाएगा, फाल्कन के पावरफुल यहां पे नॉक हो जाते हैं क्योंकि एलिमिनेट भी हो जाएंगे। 4 राइवल यहां पर कहर बरसाती है।
इन द चैट आ जाना चाहिए
52 मौजूद इस तरह से नहीं है बिकॉज़ उनके सामने कितने पॉइंट्स मिले बताओ ना। वो जा नहीं पा रहे वहां पर, उनको जाने दिया नहीं जा रहा लेकिन वाज से कहर बरसाएंगे बाहर यहां पर स्प्रे देते हैं नॉक निकाल सकते हैं। ऑलमोस्ट एलिमिनेशन के दिहाने पर आ सकती है लेकिन अभी भी 2 पॉइंट जिंदा है और अभी नॉक हो जाएंगे नॉट डाउन टू वाज बिकॉज़ आखिरी प्लेयर जिंदा है। दिस इज व्हाट आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट। मैंने आपको कहा था इतना आसान नहीं है। आपके सामने सर्कल है, आपके सामने ओपन एरिया है बट वहां पर आपको टीम से जाने नहीं देंगी और ये होता है वाज अकेले बचे हैं और बाकी प्लेयर्स
अब जी
जी बिल्कुल लादेन, और यहाँ पर मजीद मामला आगे बढ़ते हुए डीडब्ल्यूजी के प्लेयर्स मौजूद रहेंगे। डायमंड गेमिंग की जूनी एक नेट स्पैम करते हैं, नेट क्लिक भी करता है, बिल्कुल पाव में आकर गिरता है, कदमों में फटता है, और बीपीई के एक मजीद प्लेयर को टेक डाउन भी कर लिया जाता है। लेकिन 52 के डाकू भी इस मैच से एलिमिनेट हो जाएंगे। 52 के बाद अब एक आखिरी प्लेयर है जो सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं। मैं सर्वाइवल स्किल्स को दाद दूंगा 52 के, लेकिन थोड़ा बहुत एग्रेशन की उनको जरूरत थी, कुछ स्किल स्कोरिंग के मामले के अंदर वो थोड़ा सा लैग जरूर कर रहे हैं। लेकिन फाल्कन्स, टीम फाल्कन्स कहीं पर भी लैग नहीं कर रही, अपने प्लेयर्स को सर्वाइव भी करने में कामयाब हो रहे हैं। एनजीएक्स के लोग बिल्कुल सामने की तरफ मौजूद हैं, उनको स्पॉट नहीं किया जा पा रहा, बिल्कुल बगी के साइड पर लेटे हुए हैं और ऐसे ब्लेंड हो चुके हैं बगी के अंदर जैसे वो उसका पार्ट है व्हीकल का। लेकिन रऊफ बैक स्टैप पुल ऑफ कर सकते हैं, फाल्कन्स के प्लेयर स्पॉट ही नहीं कर पा रहे रऊफ को। रऊफ कैन पुल ऑफ एन अमेजिंग बैक स्टैप। तीनों के तीनों खिलाड़ी मौजूद है, स्पॉट डाउन किया जाता है वाकई, और रऊफ को एलिमिनेट किया जाता है। पावरफुल अगर यहां पर ना स्पॉट डाउन करते तो रऊफ थोड़ी देर बाद इस पूरी टीम की कहानी भी खत्म कर सकते थे। लेकिन एक नेट थ्रो किया जा चुका है, जूनी के ऊपर ये नेट स्पैम किया। 52 के अभी तक सर्वाइव करते हुए इसके पास बाइजन रहेगी। बहुत ही कम प्लेयर्स हैं जो कि एंड सर्कल्स के अंदर बाइजन इस्तेमाल करना पसंद करते हैं, एंड ही इज वन ऑफ दोस गाइज। लेकिन फाल्कन को मैं देखना चाहता हूं, फाल्कन किस स्ट्रेटजी के साथ इस मैच को लेकर जाते हैं, क्या लेकर भी जा पाते हैं, नहीं लेकर जा पाते। लेकिन एक बहुत खूबसूरत नॉक, एक मजीद किल एक्सचेंज किया गया टीम फाल्कन की तरफ से। 9 किल्स ऑलरेडी कर लेकर जा चुकी है, और पहले पायदान की जंग के अंदर ये भी एक कदम आगे जाते हुए नजर आएगा। लेकिन 52 के बाद बैकस्टैप देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। स्पोर्ट्स के प्लेयर्स को एक प्लेयर को गिरा दिया जा चुका है, दूसरे प्लेयर को डैमेज भी करने में कामयाब रहते हैं, लेकिन अभी तक आउटसाइड द सर्कल है, नहीं जा पाएंगे सर्कल के अंदर। हील यहां पर करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं, मेडकिट्स का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है उनकी तरफ से। टीम फाल्कन्स को स्पॉट कर चुकी है, किल नहीं देना चाहिए और किल दे देते हैं, किल एलिमिनेट हो जाती है टीम 52 स्पोर्ट्स इस मैच से। #4 बाय स्कोरिंग
क्या लगता है नोवन का चिकन है भाई,
अभी तक
नोवन गेमिंग का दूसरा चिकन भाई,
बैकएंड के ऊपर इंतजार करती हुई कि कब
चिकन हो जाएंगे भाई,
फाइट होगी और कब हम थर्ड पार्टी किल स्कोरिंग करेंगे। डीडब्ल्यूजी के पास हाईएस्ट चांसेस मौजूद है, बैक स्टैप से वो बिल्कुल क्लियर है, और राइट ऑन टाइम पर राइट मोमेंट को एग्रेस कर सकते हैं। लेकिन यहां पर फाइट बनती हुई फाल्कन से प्लेयर एग्रेस करेंगे, एक प्लेयर को गिराने में कामयाब। स्पोर्ट्स के अकेले खिलाड़ी बाकी डब्ल्यूजी से बचना पड़ेगा टीम फाल्कन्स को। एक 4v4 फाइट बनती हुई हमें नजर आएगी एंड पर। टीम मॉफ के रॉकी अब आखिरी प्लेयर सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं। M416 इनके हाथ में मौजूद है, फाल्कन्स को एक बैक स्टैप दिया जाता है डीडब्ल्यूजी की जूनी की तरफ से, एक नॉक एक्सचेंज किया जाता है। व्हीकल्स बहुत अच्छी तरतीब से यहां पर रखी गई है डीडब्ल्यूजी की तरफ से। अगर तो जोन वहां पर जाता है तो फाल्कन्स को बहुत मुश्किल का सामना करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन फाल्कन्स के लिए थोड़ा सा ध्यान से खेलती हुई नजर आ रही है, बिकॉज़ दे जस्ट रियलाइज कि बैकएंड के ऊपर एक और टीम मौजूद है। डीडब्ल्यूजी के प्लेयर्स वंस अगेन नॉक करने में कामयाब हो जाते हैं, फाल्कन के दमार को इस दफा लेकर आने में कामयाब होते हैं। लेकिन नेवर अलोन की तरफ से मॉफ भी एलिमिनेट हो जाती है। द फाइनल 2 टीम सर्वाइविंग राइट नाउ, डीडब्ल्यूजी जूनी, डीडब्ल्यूजी वर्सेस टीम फाल्कन सऊदी अरेबिया बन चुकी है। आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आगे की तरफ जा रहे हैं, प्रोन करते हैं, पीक करते हैं, काफी हद तक डैमेज भी हो जाते हैं, लेकिन साथ ही साथ फॉल बैक भी किया जाएगा। डीडब्ल्यूजी को सर्कल के अंदर आना है, सर्कल और ये चिकन डिनर दोनों ही उनको छीनने पड़ेंगे अपने लिए। अलादीन क्या होने वाला है आखिर?
आई बिलीव टीम
दोनों पे
होने वाली
फाल्कन का चिकन है, फाल्कन का चिकन है। अगर
यहाँ पर ऊपर चढ़ने का मौका मिल जाता है, अगर वो ऊपर चढ़ जाते हैं डिफरेंट, लेकिन दिल के जो नहीं पुश करते हैं, ऑन पुश करते नजर आएंगे। ऑन बा यूसुफ को मौजूद, लेकिन यहाँ पर ऑन बा जिस खूबसूरती के साथ नॉक करेंगे, शानदार रहेगी, पावरफुल यहाँ पर रिटेलिएशन फायर देते हुए नॉक निकालेंगे।
भाई क्या फाइट है,
2 इनफैक्ट हो चुका है, फाल्कन्स एडवांटेज हो गया है। नाउ all they have to do is wait, और उसके बाद जूनी को नॉक करके फिर सिचुएशन को 2-1 किया जाएगा। फाल्कन के प्लेयर्स यहां पर होल्ड करते हुए पावरफुल एचपी जरूर रहेंगे, बाहर होते हुए, लेकिन नॉक हो जाते हैं। इट्स अ 1v2 नाउ। अब यहां पर डीडब्ल्यूजी के खाते में दर्ज होता है ऑलमोस्ट चिकन डिनर की कोशिश की जाएगी अलोन की तरफ से। अलोन के ऊपर जिम्मेदारी आ जाती है, ही इज पुशिंग, ही इज पुशिंग,
मेरे को लग रहा है ये क्लच कर देगा।
ओह माय गॉड, जूनी को डैमेज देते हुए काबू शॉट इज दैट। फाल्कन इज वो चिकन लेके जाती हुई अपने इस भरपूर ऐसे मैच को जो कि इनके हाथों से निकल चुका है उसको खींच कर लाते हैं। ये इम्पॉसिबल जो इन्होंने पॉसिबल कर दिखाया, इस पर उनको दाद देनी
भाई। मेरी फीलिंग, गट फीलिंग तो है,
बहुत ज्यादा दाद देनी बनती है।
मेरी गट फीलिंग तो है,
फाल्कन्स अपने लिए सारे
1 मिलियन 2 मिलियन 3 मिलियन
और ये जो कि इम्पॉसिबल था उनके लिए जीतना, वो एंड पर 1v2
वही के लोग ऐसा 1 मिलियन 2 मिलियन ऐसा बोलते थे।
चीज ये थी कि जो वहां पर डिसीजन
1 मिलियन आगे बढ़ते हैं, 2 मिलियन 3 मिलियन
बहुत अच्छे तरीके से दिए जाते हैं। ड्रॉप शॉट की सिचुएशन में आपके हाथ ही काम नहीं कर, प्रोन बटन लेकिन स्टिल टीम फाल्कन
फाल्कन का कॉन्फिडेंस देखिए किस तरह से वो पुश कर रहे हैं। वो 2v1 में पुश कर रहे हैं यार, उनको पता था कि हाँ
चल, मुझे देखो यार।
टाइम मिल जाएगा हील करने का। एंड ये जो कॉन्फिडेंस है ये ना सिर्फ
You want 1 million? No, it's 2 million?
बल्कि मेरे ख्याल से इसमें ज्यादा जो कसूरवार है
गाइस एक बार सोलो भी इन द चैट। लास्ट 2 मैच जो खेली है टीम, लास्ट 2 मैच जो अपनी टीम खेली है, मजा आ गया। लास्ट 2 मैच जो अपनी टीम ने खेला है,
placings and potentially $500,000 on the line for
मजा आ गया भाई।
first
लास्ट 2
place
मैच
alone, $2 million
थोड़ा
in prize
सबके चेहरे पे
pool
जरा खुशी
throughout
आई
this week of events. We have another million coming in
सबके
next
चेहरे पे
week.
जरा
We can see
खुशी आई है
Damwon
भाई।
Kia coming in with 20, keeping it very, very close at the very end.
Never alone, Youssef. I've been absolutely insane.
Back to another video on update and PMWI finally start हो गया है and first match में Soul versus ST
एक बार हो जाए।
कॉपी जोन है,
पूरा कॉपी जोन है। इंटरनेशनल में ही है।
सोलो इन द चैट। फाल्कन टेबल टॉप कर दिया। मैं फाल्कन इसलिए बोला था, फाल्कन ने सीधा टेबल टॉप कर दिया। फाल्कन इज नाउ द